Howdy folks, welcome back. It's August 19th, 2020, and once again another beautiful day here in the state of Washington. So I'm going to be about 80 degrees today. Beats the heck out of 98 degrees. That was just overwhelmingly hot. Here we have another GIGAPAN picture, and this one, like so many of the other ones, is pretty darn clear. You know, they're not always perfectly clear. One of the interesting things about this picture is that it really shows in a lot of detail the layers of vessels that have come down here and that have built up on this butte. And there's example after example here of the different thicknesses and all of the separate pieces of metal that go together to make these things. And look at this debris field here. You know, really everything in the picture from the bottom to the top, all the way from the sandy, from the sand on the bottom all the way to the top, it's really all debris, right? It's a debris waiting to come down. Slowly but surely it will. And you know, I think it's been millions of years that these things have been sitting here because they don't have the erosion effects that we have on Earth. So just wind is it. Wind and sun, and maybe gravity is part of the erosion in this case. But it comes down. It'll eventually come down. But it's been doing this for a very, very, very long time, and it's going to continue to do that for a long time. I'm personally relieved that this calamity happened millions of years ago. Because whoever did it and whatever happened has moved on, and I just would hate to see anything like this going on Earth, you know, of course. And what was it? I mean, was it a nuclear thing? You know, there's really no way to know. That Brandenburg guy says that it was, but who knows? Here's another orb sitting here in the darkness, as they frequently do. But look at the detail on the sides of these walls. You see the coming up from the bottom. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 separate levels there. A thicker one on the bottom, and more equal sized levels above that. And you can see all the separate little panels that put these things together. And I think look at these very interesting square shapes here. I believe these are cross sections of ships that are in the middle here, that pieces have broken off and gone down and left us the cross section of the ship, and then whatever was on the inside of it is all crushed down and flat. And a lot of times you'll see these large ships on top. Now this looks like a large vessel up here, like the flying bridge right in the middle of the screen, a little above the center. And then you can also see what appears to be hull, very, very thick hull indeed, but hull nonetheless. And the hull tends to be these sandwich material. Now, for the first time, I've run across some what appear to be UFOs. We've seen drones before, what I thought was drones. I'm starting to not believe those were drones. But these are in the sky, and it's hard to say what they are. There are some very different shapes in here. And it'd be interesting enough if they were all the same shape, but they're not. They're all different. And some of the shapes, I just can't account for the shapes. Some very odd things. Some of them don't even necessarily look like vessels. And those pictures are coming up here shortly. But on some of them you can make it out. The bottom left corner one, it looks like a little, kind of like an acorn. And the one above that, you can definitely see the shape on this one. And it has that saucer shape. This one up above has that guitar pick shape, but also has the little black dome in the middle of it. So, you know, maybe those are both the same. I don't know. What are they? Are they regular UFOs? Well, what's a regular UFO, right? Like it's run-of-the-mill everyday thing. Now this one is one of those really odd shapes. If you ask me, this looks like the bat rope from Batman and Robin. You know, the rope, and they had that thing they like it was kind of like a boomerang, and they'd attach to the rope and they would throw that thing up and it would get caught, and then they could pull themselves up. Very unusual shape, kind of like a flying bat wing in a way, from what we can see, from what we have. Very strange. And the shapes get even weirder yet. Here's another. There's two of them in this picture, and I didn't do a final count. I think there's somewhere around 16 UFOs in this picture. I'm going to call them UFOs for lack of another term. They are definitely in the air, and they're definitely there. And this one here, like I say, I cannot account for the shape. Now, it might have something to do, a little bit of it, with all of the extra contrast that I'm using and all the things that I've done to try and get some resolution out of it. But this thing here has this shape on the top of it. It's a definite shape, and these things that are sticking out, definitely seem to be there too. So I don't know. That's a really odd looking thing. This one here is a little bit more normal, if there is such a thing. It has very definite shape as well. It's a kind of a saucer, again, with a little dome-like thing on top of it. And some other shapes there too, like almost like a pipe coming out or something like that. You expect, I expect that, a UFO, traditional UFOs are, smooth, really. They don't have all these crazy shapes like these ones do. And I couldn't bring them all in. I tried, but not all of them wanted to come forward for these pictures. They just didn't really pan out at all. And some of this, I've got some pictures coming up here that you absolutely are not going to believe. I don't even believe it myself. It's the damnedest thing you've ever seen. So here's three of them. There's the one from up above. Again, it has its own very unique shape with the notch cut out of the side. And the one that was over down towards the bottom. Now, take a look at this thing here. Now, it's got that very definite shape. We looked at this moments ago. But do you see the little dots coming off of it? Look at all those little dots. Now, doesn't that look like something from a cartoon? I mean, really. And if you follow those dots, there's a direction. This thing leaves leaves dots behind it. I don't know what the hell it is. All of that came in only after I turned this picture into a sort of like a nighttime scene. Couldn't see it before. But this line that I drew is, I just connected the dots. What are these dots? I mean, really? And this thing here, this looks like a big W. Again, very strange shape. It's really, really odd stuff there. But it's all there. It definitely is in the sky. Here's a great example of some triangular crafts. Again, everything that comes down and builds up these buttes and that's deteriorated on the ground, they're all triangular. And again, everything that we're seeing is metal. And I only say that for my new subscribers or people who have not watched this channel before. They haven't had an opportunity yet for me to drone on over and over and over saying the same thing, that this triangular crafts, the only kind they make, and everything that we're looking at is metal. Okay, so I said it twice now, I won't say it anymore. Incredible layering, really incredible. And look down in the center there. Oh, I did it again. There's something like a disc down there stuck in the middle of all that. And this appears to be a triangular craft or some sort of vessel that landed perpendicular to the rest of it. I've seen that a couple of times, maybe twice. This is pretty prominent. And then up towards the top of it is a whole bunch of debris and wreckage. Very interesting to look at. Again, more of the layering. And all of this gold, everything that you see that's gold or silver, again, this is all metal. Oh, I said it again, didn't I? So yeah, we had flying saucers, a whole bunch of them. Flying saucers, flying UFOs of some kind. What the heck were they? You know, every time I start looking at pictures, I think it's just going to be more of the same, because typically it is. It's almost always the same thing over and over and over. But occasionally something comes along, like these UFOs. Now, isn't this about the clearest picture you've ever seen? And from the center, slanting down to the left, that looks like the fuselage of some sort of a vessel, a plane, something like that. And you definitely can see all of the debris on the ground. And this is the type of stuff that they would like you to believe is lake bed. Just like the new rover going up, they've already set us up for more of that ancient lake bed. Well, this is not ancient lake bed. This is metal debris. And I will also reiterate that, in my opinion, all of this sand is a metallic sand, because the sand has to come from what is in the surrounding area. And there's nothing in the surrounding area but metal. And I'm not so sure all of the sand is real either. We've seen quite a few instances of that where they cover things up with the sand. But you can usually see this pattern on these open areas. This is what you see in all of the pictures. You see those little black flecks, and they're in a perfect pattern. And this is the hull material that I've been saying has come down and is resting on the ground. So if you want to find rocks, you got to dig through this stuff to get down to the ground. And sometimes it kind of sticks up and you see it almost like a shell. But definitely you can see all the little black dots. This is the deterioration of the hull. And when they put the hull together in different pieces, that's where it starts to come apart. And there are different kinds of hull, like this right here. This looks a little bit different. I've seen maybe 3 different kinds of this hull shape. Or hull debris, we'll call it. And this is something sticking out of the side of the hill. It's not just a rocky outcropping. You can see the hull material, and it's sticking out over the edge there. And more of that metallic material. Maybe this is part of the sandwich material, where you have a hull and whatever's in the middle and then something on the bottom. Just another weird picture from Gale Crater. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon.